Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs. Whether that's a brand new humidor, a box of those new cigars you've been waiting for, a top-of-the-line cutter or lighter, a place to enjoy the finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the only cigars grown right here in the Sunshine State, we've got you covered. Come visit one of our retail locations for the ultimate cigar experience. Visit us online at coronacigar.com.
How about that cigar?
How about that cigar?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Corona Cigar Studios for episode 280 of How About That Cigar Live. Thank you so much for joining us live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and live on
Rumble!
And of course, if you are joining us after the fact on the audio podcast, thanks so much for making How About That Cigar a part of your regular audio podcast rotation. No matter where you watch or listen, be sure to click on all of the big, beautiful buttons, whether it's the like button, the subscribe button. You know how social media works. Just if it's a button about How About That Cigar, click on it, smash it,
like it, love it.
That's what all the youngsters, you know, those Gen, what are they now? Gen Zers, millennials,
Gen Worf.
Worfless. I like that. So, yes.
Finally, the Rican is back on How About That Cigar.
After a, well, I was going to say a much needed week off, but this was no fucking vacation for you. You were.
Last week, we got our asses whooped like we stole something back in the old days. Yeah, it was.
So you normally trade your shift on Mondays for How About That Cigar Live, but the trade didn't work out this past week.
Yeah, he canceled on me last minute. I think somebody in the family was sick.
And and it sucks because in that 48-hour shift, you guys got slammed. And not only did you get slammed with, what was it? Six structure fires in 48 hours.
Plus we had medicals on top of it.
In some of the coldest temperatures of the past year, like minus 10, 15, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah. I wish I felt good I was happy for the guys that were in the fire because they were warm.
The guys that were in there.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about this before that, you know, is it better to fight fires in January or February when it's, you know, minus 20, or in August when it's 105? And you've always said it's better in the
February,
winter. Yeah, because you can
get some relief.
If you need to cool off, just go outside.
Yeah.
So we're glad you're safe, brother, and glad to have you back.
Thanks.
Let's bring on our fantastic producer.
Who is he? I forgot who he was.
Justy Smokes.
Justy Smokes.
What is going down?
Well, the temperatures are not actually. It's kind of cool. The temperatures are going up. It hit 50. What did you say, Just 50?
52 today.
52 today.
Yeah.
It's going to be warm all week. We're going to be pushing 50 all week, pretty much.
I played disc golf today.
Yeah,
and it was swampy.
Well, it's crazy too because you were also playing disc golf when it was minus 20.
Yeah,
a couple of weeks ago. You're crazy.
It was
crazy. I don't like any game enough to do it when it's minus 20.
Well, I noticed I took the last couple of weeks off because whatever, I was sick and a couple other things. Then it's a perishable skill. Well,
I suppose.
Yeah, looked like shit today in the course. But
speaking of winter sports, Minnesota Wild are actually improving a little bit. You know, they had the break for the four season. Well, God, my brain is. Four Nations face off. Thank you. Which was a blast to watch. I mean, I wish, you know, USA would have, you know, performed a little better, but I think they still did a great job. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Wild are improving. I think Kaprizov's probably still another.
Is he even coming back for this year?
I think so. I think he'll be back in 3 weeks ish. So he shouldn't be too much longer. I hope.
And the T Wheels are still just middle of the road.
Yeah, they're just kind of lumbering along. The Timberwolves are just, you know, they're okay.
You know what's best after football season's over? Baseball's not too far away.
Spring training, baby.
And I'm all full of hopes for my Yankees.
Yeah, so I don't know I didn't look at the Yankees spring training schedule, but the Twins are 2 games in so far. You know, they're 1-1. Spring training games are, you know, just kind of a different thing altogether. You can't really
talent out, seeing how it goes, who works well together.
But it'll be interesting to see how things progress in spring training and how how our teams do during the regular season. And also, real quick, before we jump into Spirit of Mystery, a little in memoriam, a little rest in peace. Roberta Flack passed away today. And if you're, for those of you watching and listening, if you're unfamiliar, Roberta Flack, one of the most famous R&B singers in history. Yep. Some huge hits, Killing Me Softly, just absolutely incredible voice, incredible talent. And she had a really long career. I mean, she was still performing, at an age beyond what I feel like I could ever perform at. So she, one of the best to ever do it, and will be missed.
She will be. That song's gonna be in my head all night long.
Yeah. That song is
a good song. It's such
so great. So she will be missed. So, in the next few days, jump on Spotify or whatever and listen to some Roberta Flack just to, chill.
Or just listen to that one song over.
Yeah, just put Killing Me Softly on repeat.
And so many people have redone it.
Oh yeah, I mean the Fugees, their version of that song is insanely good. I mean, it's Lauryn Hill. Give me a break.
I think Morphine might have done it too.
I think you're right.
Like jazz.
Yeah. There've been quite a few. I think I even remember hearing somebody do like a fusion, like rock version of Killing Me Softly once. But yeah, that's one of the cool things I really like is finding people who did cool, different covers. I guarantee there's a ton of those on Spotify. So yeah, dig around and find some of those. But let's jump into this week's Spirit of Mystery, brought to us by Postania Cigars. Do you find yourself unsatisfied with the top 10 list from How About That Cigar? Are you wondering how cigars from Postania didn't make the HBTC list, but found their way onto other lists? Well, fortunately, you can be reminded every week with this Postania Cigars advertisement. Postania Cigars, the #1 unranked cigar in the industry. All lies, by the way, because their cigar was #2 on our 2024 Cigar of the Year list.
Their new cigar,
it is
Sumatra? No.
The wrapper, it's got a name that doesn't match. Catastrophic Failure.
No, this is the other one that's just coming out.
Oh, San Andreas.
San Andreas. Okay.
Yeah, that one's, did it ship yet? I don't know if it shipped yet.
I got a 5-pack a month ago.
Oh, then it shipped.
No.
Oh, you got them early. You know a guy.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
It's good. It's good to know.
I answered some question on Cigar Hustler, and
oh yeah.
They sent me a free 5-pack. I haven't opened it.
Nice.
It's sitting,
Well, smoke one of those. Let us know how it is.
I might bring one in. We can.
That'd be awesome too. And, so Raul gave me a little bit of a hefty, healthy pour on Spirit of Mystery tonight.
I figured I'd make up for last week.
Oh, so you gave me 2 pours tonight. Last week, Justin picked one of my. I just
he didn't even get his own bottles.
I didn't get it right.
His own bottle.
Yeah,
right here in the house.
Yeah, I was.
Do you want my surprise look?
Right.
Yeah, right. So this is a
bourbon.
It's a bourbon, and it's got a nice aroma and a little taste.
Oh, you gotta go a little more than that. That was just like.
All right, it's hot. It's high proof. Good flavor though. Classic bourbon. Vanilla, oak. Good sweetness on the finish. Little sourness, but that kind of good balance there. A little sweet and sour. Little funkiness, but not like Scotch funkiness. Just probably coming from some of that oak. This might be. Do
you get any flavor of the Famunda?
Famunda? No Famunda
right,
on this one. I'll keep drinking it. Maybe
maybe we'll show itself in a bit.
I promise I will let you know if I detect any Famunda.
So,
all right. I think it is absolutely time to bring on our special guest of the evening.
Chris Rock.
Oh, no. No,
and
sorry.
as always, on How About That Cigar Live, excuse me, special guests are brought to us by our friends at Drew Estate. And the new Freestyle Live event pack features a unique Dominican forward expression. Today marks a new chapter for Drew Estate by introducing a silky smooth blend that places Dominican tobaccos squarely in the spotlight. This Dominican forward blend brings together Drew Estate's signature sweet cap and the highest grade Connecticut shade wrapper leaf. With an MSRP of $40, the new FSL pack contains 4 unbranded mystery cigars, along with an FSL torch lighter, an exclusive Freestyle Life dog tag necklace, and a custom 10-count travel humidor. For more information, please visit drewestate.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, help us out, please. Put your hands together and welcome to episode 280 of How About That Cigar Live from Lampert Cigars. Andrew Rock, welcome to the show, brother.
Gentlemen, how's it going?
It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It
Great
is.
morning.
It is. No, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
So fair warning, I did get off shift this morning after 48 of getting another. We got our ass whooped again, but it was more medical calls.
Okay.
So if I'm a little loopy, you don't know the difference. So this is just
Yeah, exactly. Right.
We'll just let it go like that.
We'll say it's just you.
All right. Fair enough.
We'll run with that and we'll see what happens. Right.
So, who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you? It's Pete Townsend asked us, right?
Yeah.
I am Andrew Rock. I am the National Sales Director for Lampert Cigars. We are a European company that came into the market a few years ago, and I took over about a year and a half ago, and we've been growing ever since. And that's the name of the game, right? It's, put cigars in people's hands, and if they like them, they'll ask for more.
What'd you do before? Porn star? Did I hear that?
A little bit. They always do like the what street did you grow up on and what's your last name? I grew up on Mount Road.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
mine is good, but that's really good.
I know. What was great was there was an enormous rock outside of our house, like 8 feet tall, and it was some weird thing that the village put there, like 50 years before my dad even bought the house. And he bought the house. It's the rocks. Well, how would you find our house? It's near the big fucking rock. You can't miss it. If you drive into it, you're there. So, I was in the entertainment industry. I was in show business. Nice. So I was the most recent position I held doing that kind of thing. I was the master electrician here at Symphony Hall in St. Louis. And I worked there for several years. And before that, I was a lighting designer, rigged, high steel rigging, audio production, video production, all that fun stuff.
Nice.
So how'd you get into cigars?
It was a hobby. It was something I always enjoyed. I would travel a lot for my job, and you can either go to the bar or you're going to be there till 3 or 4 in the morning, and you're going to show up the next day for your call, all kinds of fucked up, and you're 120 feet in the air on a steel beam, and you're like, what the fuck did I do last night? Or you can go to a lounge, which closes at 11 or 12, and you get back to your hotel at a reasonable time. You still got to pound like 10 beers into you, but it's not the 19 that you would have had. So that was always something I liked doing when I traveled. And, it became a hobby. And then it became something that when COVID hit the entertainment industry, it was done. Like for 2 or 3 years, a lot of guys left. A lot of guys left.
Okay.
And, I had a young family. And it's like, I can't not work. And also I got bored. So I took a job at a local tobacconist, and I kind of went from there.
Nice. So one of the other things that, because this is the first time that we have, had yourself or anybody from Lampert Cigars on the show. So being a brand that's new to our viewers and listeners, can you give us kind of the brief, History Channel, version of the history of the brand? And because we know, like you said already, it's a brand started in Europe and has been slowly trying to build brand awareness in the United States. So, give us the lowdown on the history of the brand.
So you want the History Channel one? Aliens.
Yeah. Bring it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No, so
Show's over.
Next
Over.
question.
Good night.
yeah. Good night. It was the Anunnaki. I'm really out here mining gold. So quite a few years, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, Stefan, Dr. Lampert, he was working in a law firm, or his own law firm, in Austria. And he decided, he was visiting Thailand. He was getting like custom suits made. And he's like, why can't I get my own cigars made? Well, you can, but you need to be able to find someone at a factory that's reputable. You need to have them take you seriously. You need to get them to sit down with you and go through the blending process and all of this, right? Like it's a whole thing. And how many little retail stores do you know that have really struggled to get like a custom blend made for them? So imagine you're just, a regular guy on the street. So he took that idea and he did a lot of research, and he managed to get together with the Leon family in Costa Rica, Tabacos de Costa Rica, which is a wonderful factory, wonderful family. And he met with them. They sat down. They started, working on a blend, and he got one made for him. And, he was sharing it with clients and with colleagues and what have you. And some of the guys said, this is great. Like, I'd like to buy some of these. And he goes, well, I don't, really produce them to sell. Well, demand becomes, big enough, you're going to sell it, right? So he upped his production, and then he said, well, fuck, this worked once. Let's do it again. Let's make another blend. So, we went from there. He went from there. So, then we had several lines coming out of Costa Rica. It's like, okay, so that's the library of tobacco they have. Let's work in another country as well to, make this library of tobacco even bigger. So then got together with the Ortez family in Nicaragua, specifically with Indiana. And that's where we produced the Nicaragua blend. And by that point in time, things were cooking. So then, we went to Kelner Boutique Factory in the Dominican, working with him, the Venturas at El Maestro, working with them. And, it kind of ballooned from there. And now we're in 53 countries as of the other week. And, about 38, 40 states. So that's all in about 5 years.
Nice.
So
just real quick, I got to throw this in there that if anybody who has a chance to go to, big multi-vendor cigar events or trade shows or anything like that, if you have not yet met Indiana Ortez, she is one of the greatest people in the cigar business people ever meet. She's just a fantastic person, and one of my favorite people in the business. So
absolutely,
just had to give her a shout out and say hello.
Okay, no. I think I might have met her last year. She there last year, or was it 2 years ago?
That might
One of the PCAs. I think I met her.
Yeah.
So tell us about your lineup.
The blend.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk blends. So in Costa Rica, we produce our Oro line, which I have lit up right now, and I believe at least a couple of you are smoking right now. Yeah. So we produce that in 4 sizes, kind of 5, but it's a little different. So we have our Robusto, Torpedo, Toro, and we have a little Corona, a little half Corona as well, a San Rito. We also are producing our limited edition. It is our Oro line, small batch, short Perfecto. It used to have a different name, which I cannot mention on air anymore. As you know, these things happen.
Yeah.
You're not getting sued. You're not doing business correctly. And that's actually shipping tomorrow. So you're going to be able to find that, several of our good partners are going to be bringing that in. You'll be able to find it at Sir Louis, through Luxury, through Cigar Club, Small Batch, all of these guys, right? We also produce our yearly Limitada there, which I'm actually doing a re-release of next month of the 23. So it's kind of like an añejo, right? It's been resting for 2 years, as well as the 5 years that tobacco rested before that. Then we work with Agro Tobaccos in Nicaragua. So we produce our Rojo, which is our bread and butter Connecticut there. We produce our Azul, which is a beautiful medium-bodied Habano. And we produce our Morado, which I have right here, which uses a super high priming, super rich, super delightful San Andreas wrapper on that. Which I don't know if any of you are smoking that right now, but you can tell me what you think.
We're smoking that right now, and it's got a lot of those, classic qualities that you want from San Andreas. Kind of earthy, kind of chocolatey.
Well, one thing is different about that, and this was like Indiana and Stefan, I thought did something great with this. It's a more Condega heavy blend with the filler tobacco, which brings out a little bit more of that natural sweetness. So as opposed to when you smoke like a Padron 1964, okay? We all know where that wrapper's really from. We all know.
No comment, but yes.
No comment. Yeah, we all know. It's a beautiful cigar. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Very, very proud of where that wrapper's from. And it's, it's very earthy and it's got that dark chocolate, right? And that very coffee forward note to it. Whereas I think this brings out a little bit more sweetness. It's almost like a chocolate covered raisin, right? Like sit and imagine that, if you will, for a moment. And you start getting that. And then we also work, as I was saying earlier, in the Dominican. We've done a lot of projects at the KBF factory, which has a wonderful library of tobacco. And we also work with the Venturas at their factory to produce our Oscura, which also uses a San Andreas wrapper, but we use an Indonesian Sumatra binder on that and Dominican filler. And it really gives it like this little funk that I love. I think it's really interesting. It's also in our portfolio, I think, that specific blend has the most difference between Robusto and Toro. Like they almost smoke like two different cigars, which is really interesting to me because the blend is the same. But it just goes to show you size really does make a difference.
That's one of
right.
That's honestly one of the cool things that we like talking about and experiencing as we try different cigars and different blends is the Vitolas, because you can smoke the Robusto and then smoke maybe a Corona Gorda or smoke a Gordo 60 and they can really take, well, you say Raul says no to that, but they can really smoke as very, very different cigars depending on the size.
And obviously the difference between smoking a Lancero and a Gordo is going to be massive. Because in the Gordo you need so much more of that lower priming tobacco for the combustion element. It's going to have less flavor, but it needs to be there so it stays lit, right? Like that's understandable. But that's what I just find interesting between just a Robusto and a Toro. Ultimately, the difference there is normally just, 30 to 40 minutes of additional smoking time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that blend, it's very, very different. And it's just, I think that's remarkable.
Yeah.
Which one out of the portfolio do you reach for the most?
Probably the Ocean Breeze. It is the most unique blend we have. And that's from Costa Rica. Worldwide, it is by far and away our best-selling SKU. And there is a reason for that. It is very unique. It has a really interesting salinity to it. There's a saltiness to the blend. The reason you guys and me are not smoking that right now is it literally just came back into stock today. Shipping them in from Costa Rica. Otherwise, I would have sent some up for you guys to try. It doesn't seem to matter how much I have the factory send. We just sell out. And it's almost at the point where I'm like, just send me all of them. Just send all of them, and then keep rolling. But we make it in one size. It's Robusto Extra, just a slightly fat Robusto. And, it uses some very interesting tobacco that they have there. The Leon family has. It's undisclosed tobacco, which, whatever that may mean. A lot of blends out of that factory have that word associated with them. But it is. Yeah. It's a really interesting blend. And like I say, that salinity is up front right on your tongue. And it's just so unique. I think the only other cigar I can think of that had that saltiness was like the old Illusion MJ. Had a little bit of that saltiness to it. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a killer cigar, So, that's what I normally reach for.
Okay.
I would say probably the Azul is a close second behind that. because it's like that perfect, everyday working cigar, right? Like it just works with anything. If you're having some rum, if you're having some scotch, if you're just having a couple of beers, it works well with that. It's just pleasant. It's not going to overwhelm your palate, like something a little heavier might. It's perfect at any time of the day, and I think it's just a really, really well balanced cigar.
Well, and speaking to the the blends you guys have that are coming out of Costa Rica. Costa Rica is one of those deep track cigar producing countries that a lot of people forget about and
sleep on it.
Yeah, they sleep on it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some fantastic cigars coming out of Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, Honduras, but Costa Rica, man, over many years I've had so many blends from different companies coming out of factories in Costa Rica that have really been impressive to me. And there's something about, especially if they, I don't know, I know, a lot of times they're working with, sourced tobacco and not.
Of course.
It's rare that you're going to find a blend that's got, actual Costa Rican tobacco in it. But there's just
maybe a little Volano, but that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's something about the way that I don't know if it's the training or if it's the culture in the factories themselves, but some good blends over the years have come out of Costa Rica, and it really is kind of a sleeper country when it comes to cigar production.
I figure if Mr. Alfonso thinks it's good enough, it's definitely good enough, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where's your price range at? Where's your
So we sit anywhere, depending on the state, of course, anywhere between about 12.5 to $18. There was actually a conversation we had where one of our most recent LEs, I was adamant about making the price about $1 lower than it realistically should have been with, what things cost, just because I didn't want to be selling, a cigar for over $20. I think most people, once you get to that $20 level, people are going to go, no, because I can go and buy two, for a similar price. Right. So I wanted to keep it in that reasonable range. And we're looking at, trying to produce something as well, kind of in the sub $10 category, like it is an introduction to the brand as well. But we don't want to compromise on quality. So that's been something we've been working on for over a year now.
Yeah, I think that's becoming a popular item and important, as, times are what they are and stuff costs.
It is. Yeah, it is. I mean, I think at this point in time,
inexpensive cigar.
Well, look, we got the Limitada 2023 is 100% worth $20 all day. All right, well, perfect. I'm up in the price today. Today, going up.
And I think a lot more people are smoking the Cuban sandwiches too.
Yeah, a lot of mixed filler Cuban sandwich cigars.
You can make a solid mixed filler cigar.
Absolutely.
Talking about Indiana, the Bout Wood that she made. That's mixed filler. You know what? It's a decent smoke. It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Tatuaje Miami series. The Series P. Whether it's the Miami or the original Series P, that's a Cuban sandwich cigar. Fantastic.
What stock is someone?
The Umbagog.
Umbagog.
Yeah, Umbagog.
Yeah,
and I mean, there's dozens. What's that?
Bronze back.
Yeah, thank you.
Cigar.
There's dozens of great Cuban sandwich blends out there. And one thing that I've talked about this, some people might be sick of hearing about this on the show, but doing a factory tour once, and I was with Pete Johnson, and he was talking about the mixed filler cigars. Sometimes you can end up getting, tobaccos in those cigars because the trimmings, they'll put them in these wooden boxes, and those wooden boxes will sometimes sit, in a for a long time before that tobacco gets used. So you could end up getting, tobaccos that have a little more age, maybe a little more funk, and it's sometimes they can be even better blends, for the dollar, especially than something that you would maybe pay a little bit more for. But that's another one of those things. It's like, don't sleep on mixed filler cigars.
Yeah.
And you know, I've heard a rumor more than once. I don't know how accurate this is. I've heard from more than one person that back in the day when the quorums were first being introduced, there was no blend to that. It was literally the filler was the tobacco that had been used, you know, the day before or whatever was being rolled, you know, in that room the day before. So you might get some fantastic tobacco in the filler of that. And, you know, it's going to taste completely different to the one you smoke the next day. But I mean, that's a great surprise, right? You know, if you get some, you know, $1.50, $2 knockaround cigars and you go, holy shit, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
A couple of our viewers have corrected us. It's the Pulpetta.
Oh,
not
yes.
Umbagog. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, viewers. That is correct. It's the Pulpetta. Yeah, which also I really enjoy that cigar. So in your experience, Andrew, and you know, as your own experience, and also in, you know, conversations and you know, working closely together with the team at Lampert Cigars, you know, because having a presence in Europe and now a presence in the United States, obviously they're vastly different markets as far as cigars go. Whether you're talking price, whether you're talking regulation, whether you're talking the way that you market cigars and things like that. So what are the big ticket differences, and how have you seen that sort of play out as you've been a part of this company?
I mean, the first biggest difference, first of all, with Europe, you're dealing with track and trace now. And that adds a level of complication legislatively and commercially that we just do not deal with here. Secondly, you're dealing with SKU registration. So, you know, you may open up distribution in a new country. Well, it's going to cost that distributor, and oftentimes they want you to pick up some of the cost in that, just to register those SKUs with the governing body that deals with tobacco in that country. And then secondly, you're dealing with taxes. A very good friend of mine is a gentleman named George in Greece, and he runs 2K Cigars there, right? And he was telling me the tax situation in Greece is take the wholesale price and multiply it by 7. So it's essentially a 700% tax. And like, we've got people in Alaska and California and Utah complaining. No, it's still, you know, within the realm of acceptability. You know, California's just over 50% now. I think Utah's got the highest, I think, state tax in the country, right there, but they're still under 100%. You know, in the Scandinavian countries, it's the same way. You know, we make a short Robusto that we do sell in the U.S. It's, you know, it's not a size that really takes off super well here. Some stores it does. And, you know, in Scandinavia, like that's a $25, $30 cigar. And that's a 30-minute smoke, you know. Yeah, exactly. And then I know, you know, we operate in Australia now. And in Australia, it's the same way. It's based upon the weight of the cigar. So I was talking to the gentleman about this who we're working with. And, you know, your standard Toro is over 100 Australian dollars, which is just absurd. It is interesting. You might look at a Canadian website at some point, because their situation is kind of similar. And you'll notice that the pricing is very similar from SKU to SKU to SKU, right? Doesn't really, you know, some companies are going to be a little bit more expensive, obviously. But the vast majority of cigars are going to be within about a $5 range, $5 Canadian, whatever that is in real money. And, you know, that's...
In real money. I like it.
But, you know, they're all going to be within that similar range. So then that leads us into how do you get people to smoke your cigars, right? And especially in Canada and other countries, that's an issue because of packaging, right? You have to have the plain packaging, you know, the brown paper box, right? And so that becomes a real issue. And at that point, you're kind of relying on the retailer to take an interest in your brand and work with it, because you can't advertise.
Right.
You know, there's no real marketing you do. Gone are the days when, you know, you'd see, you know, sponsorship on a Formula One car, right? You know, we all remember the Ferrari with Barbara over the back of it, you know. Tobacco advertising is not a thing anymore. You can advertise in industry-specific magazines, periodicals, whatever you want to call them. That's about it. And what's kind of weird about this, here we'll go off on our first sidebar. When I drive my son to school, I pass a massive billboard that advertises pre-rolled joints. I have no problem with that. Get high, man. Have a good time. I don't care. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. But why can't I advertise but the dope store can?
We've talked about that before. You're absolutely right. It's bullshit.
It is.
Or let's just talk about beverages, alcoholic beverages.
Sure.
It's worse for families and your body than a cigar.
100%.
It's everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
But one good thing, when Canada becomes our 52nd state, I think the prices are going to drop.
That's right.
That's what my insiders tell me.
Come on, yeah. Let's flood the border. Come on, guys.
Don't hold your breath. But we can, like we said before we went on the air, we can dream. About.
And when the ice caps melt and we buy Greenland, shit ton of arable land, lots of farms popping up. It's going to be great. You'll see.
There you go.
Yeah.
Might as well take Mexico too. We took the Gulf of Mexico. We might as well take Mexico too.
What's the Gulf? Are they calling it the Gulf of America?
Yeah.
I think it depends which map service you use.
I think the people who draw the maps are kind of in charge of that. So they're going to call it what they want to call it.
When was the last time you met a cartographer?
Oh, just yesterday. No, I think
I think that's an art that's died out.
All the cartographers work for Google now, and they're computer engineers first and cartographers second. So for you, as somebody who worked in a different business before the cigar business, and then you find yourself in a retail shop first, and then with Lampert Cigars. Obviously, the people that you work alongside at Lampert are going to play somewhat of a guide and mentorship role. But outside of that, other people in the cigar industry, from maybe other cigar companies, maybe retailers, who've been a couple other key people that have helped you on your cigar business journey.
There have been a bunch, and I think that it's something great I've observed in this industry. I came from the entertainment industry where there were two people, and they were truly either with you or against you, because it's very competitive, and guys always want these very specific niche spots. So you'd have people that would undermine you and undercut you, and then you would have guys that were fantastic, just paragons of virtue, and would help you out in any way. And I have experienced almost universal help and great attitudes in this industry. So we were talking about Tony Hogan from Crux. He's been a great help. Any advice I want, help with things, he's been there. Jake Cronin from Puente JC Newman has been a fantastic help to me. My buddy Dave Payne, he used to be with Crown Heads. He's with Drew Estate now. Yeah, Dave's actually my neighbor. He lives just right across the river from me. And he's been great. So many of these guys are fantastic. And then, we've got some great retail partners like Ben at Luxury. If I have questions about something, Ben's a fantastic help. You guys probably know Hunter with Sir Louis. He's a wonderful lunatic genius. I love the guy. He's fantastic. Ronnie Heishel at Secreto. If I have a question about something, Ronnie has 400 answers for me, and they're all really interesting and creative. These guys are fantastic, and I fucking love working with them, right? It's great. And so, this is it's been a blast. I could name off 100 people, and if I need help with something, I was looking for, representation up in the upper Midwest. I called Jared Saunders from Davidoff. He's like, here's a guy, right?
Yeah.
It's been really awesome. I was looking for representation in New England. I called up Casey Johnson, here's a guy, here's their numbers, tell them I sent you. It's been great. And that's something that I think is huge in this business, that people are trying to help each other out, because I don't think we're necessarily, especially within the boutique realm, we're not really competing against each other. We are competing with each other to demonstrate that, you don't have to have an enormous advertising campaign when you can.
Yeah.
Or like really sparkly gimmicks and merchandise to create a fantastic cigar, and there have been a lot of guys with small companies or medium-sized companies, whatever you want to call them, who, it's like, hey, that's a really good idea. I like that. Oh, this guy mentioned your product. Here's his number. You should call him. He'd love to have you in his store. And, and I've done the same with other guys, and we all try and help each other out because, like I say, your average guy going into a store, at least me, right? And I'm still a customer. I still buy things that other companies make because I want to try them.
Yeah.
When I go into a store, I don't just go, here's the 3 things I like, and I'm never going to try something else. I'm like, cool, what's this? Well, that looks really interesting. Oh, fuck, these guys made something great last year. Let's try this, right?
Yeah.
And so, I think that's something that's huge, and we all kind of do to help each other out. That's really nice, and I like that.
That is one of the cool things about the cigar business is it's we've heard people call it cooperative competition, and it's true even in cigar media.
Yep.
We'll be at trade shows and be talking to some people from some other cigar media groups, whether it's excuse me, whether it's like Half Wheel or Coop or Developing Palates or Blind Man's Puff, and they're like, oh, have you talked to so and so from this company? It's like, no, I don't know them, and they'll walk you over and introduce you. And
exactly.
It's just the community. It's like the community comes first, and then obviously everybody wants their product to sell and perform well in the marketplace, but that it feels like in a lot of cases that comes second to the community piece.
And that is big. That's definitely big. And that's something I also look for, like with retail partners and stuff. I mean, obviously, you always want your stuff in the biggest stores. They have the most volume, the most people go in there. That's great. But I really enjoy when I walk in somewhere and, the owner's busting balls with the guys in the lounge. And I think one of my favorite events I did last year was up at a place called Rudy's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I walked up into the lounge, Joe's up there, and he's like, these are the guys that are here every day. Go bust balls. We were watching like fucking bum fights on TV, like fucking betting on what was going to happen, with these drunk Hoosiers beating the shit out of each other. It was fucking great. I had a blast. Like, I'm like, this is what I would do at home with my friends. Yeah. I've just made 12 new friends. This is fantastic. I'm having a good day, and I got paid to do that. Someone gave me money to go and do that. And that's fucking awesome, right? And so that's definitely part of it, man. Yeah. Like the worst thing that can happen is when you walk in somewhere and there's, some guy who's got 80 pounds on me. I got a fucking beer gun on me. And he's got the newspaper. He just goes, humidor's that way.
Yeah. If he even says that much.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you remember the guy in the Blues Brothers when they go into the fucking men's hostel, Elwood's staying at, and he's like, guy came, say there's a cop, left a card, and that's it. That's your entire interaction with the guy.
Yeah.
No one even gave me any fucking cheese whiz.
So as far as cigar pairings, like different spirits, beers, that kind of thing, what's your favorite? What do you like to pair with different, even with different Lampert cigar blends?
At heart, I am a beer drinker. So, I mean, normally with the Oro line that I'm smoking right now, that does work well with tequila. It works very well with tequila. Tequila doesn't work so great with me, so I avoid that. But I have tried this, and it works very well.
Yeah.
The Azul is meant. It is quite literally paired with our rum, right? That's how it was blended. It was blended with the idea of this works great with the rum. Now, I mean, I'll sit and drink beer and smoke that all day. It's good. but it is quite literally designed to be the perfect pairing, right? And then I feel that the Escura is a solid Scotch cigar. It really is. It's got that weight to it, and it's got that. And I know this sounds ridiculous when I say it, but it has that smokiness. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good, yeah. Because obviously it is a combustible item; it will smoke.
Yeah.
But it's got that smokiness to it as well, and then it's got that weird little funk from that Sumatra binder as well that I think works really well with the Scotch, and I like that. I like that too. So those would be my pairings.
Nice.
And then you mentioned a bourbon from you guys. Tell us a little bit more about that.
No,
we make a rum. Yeah. So it is pretty much just available in California. Although retailers are able to get samples for events, they can call me up and we'll take care of that. That's been an interesting thing. You talk about the difference between Europe and the U.S. In this country, it's really easy to sell tobacco. It's really, really easy. Hell, I mean, I had a tobacco license, right? It's just not that hard to sell tobacco. You just have to pay the tax and agree to abide by their rules. In Europe, it's the exact opposite. There are so many roadblocks put in your way. Whereas selling alcohol in Europe is easy. Hell, you can give it to a 12-year-old. No one cares. Whereas in this country, there are so many loopholes to distribute alcohol in each different state, right? Every state is different. Weirdly, California is easier, which is truly bizarre. And so, that's why our rum is not available nationwide. Okay. You can order from a couple of places in California. I know Total Wine carries it. There's a couple of other places as well. And so about the rum, it's Panamanian rum. There is absolutely no sugar added to it whatsoever, all natural. I know that's, a common thing with a lot of rums is they dump a bunch of sugar in there to make it, so that 18-year-olds want to drink it in college or whatever. No, there's none of that. It's slightly spiced, and we have a 7-year and a 12-year, and the 12-year is absolutely fucking delightful. It is absolutely delightful. I sent some to my old man actually for his birthday, and he put both bottles away like that same weekend. That says maybe more about my father than the rum, though. So,
And is that found under the brand name Lampert Rum?
It is, yes. Okay. Lampert Rum. Very, very original and creative. Lampert Rum.
Yeah. So if you guys are out there not in California and you're in one of those states where you can have spirits shipped to you from a retailer, then just Google Lampert Rum and grab some for yourself.
Is it?
I think so.
Is it time?
Justy, what do you? Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It is now time for this week's Numero de los Muertos. All right. Numero de los Muertos, episode 280. So, Andrew, Numero de los Muertos is the strangest yet most wonderful segment on any cigar show in the world.
Okay.
Basically, it's a little morbid, but it's actually fun. It's for viewers and listeners, for the most part, they all say it's their favorite part of the show. So I'm going to give a number, and this number is going to be how many people died by this mystery cause.
Okay.
And during a certain period of time or whatever it may be. And you, along with Justy, Raul, and our viewers, get to throw out any kind of guesses, like 20 questions, just to break it down to find this cause of death. So the number this week is over a 18-year period between the year 2000 and the year 2018.
Makes sense.
There were a total of 26 people worldwide that died from this.
26
people over an 18-year period worldwide.
So this is a 20 question scenario, right? right?
Yes,
Skip
absolutely.
Martin has
Skip, I love you, brother.
autoerotic asphyxiation classic.
That's more than 26. I guarantee it.
It's
That's
way.
way-
It's more than
way
26 in my
26.
zip code.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of people pulling into driveways, hitting that garage door
shit.
opener, and their husband's there just cranking it.
And I have to, I actually also have to give a huge shout out and thank you to Skip because, doing Numero de los Muertos for 280 episodes.
Yeah.
You run out of content and it's like digging around for different death stats and all this. So Skip gave me a few like big jolts as far as like a lot of different things. And tonight's is one of the ones that Skip provided inspiration for. So Skip, brother, thank you very much.
Nice.
Skip inspired some resent from me because I wish I was on the coast of Nicaragua as well instead of sitting here in the Midwest freezing my balls off the other day.
Yeah.
Is it on land from David Floyd?
Hey, David.
Land,
Ooh.
yes.
Okay.
Is there a specific part of the world where this is more common?
Let's see here. I don't see any data here that breaks it down by region or country.
All
Are
right.
animals involved?
Animals are involved.
See, that
Being
blew my.
gored by a bull.
Not being gored by a bull.
I was gonna say 26 sounds like the number of people the Clintons had killed.
Oh,
And they were animals.
and they were.
What about automobiles?
Automobiles are not involved.
I never seen
Vehicles. Vehicles are not involved.
Is food involved?
Food is not involved.
So you
It's not
said
choking.
it's not trampled by a bull.
No, but
It's not
animals
gored by a
animals
bull?
are involved.
Is it gored by a bull?
No, that's what Andrew asked. It's not gored by a bull.
Did they choke in some fashion?
No.
Okay.
Anal penetration by a rhino.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, David, but you're gonna have. That's not the right answer. But I need you to be more specific, David.
Animal.
Because anal penetration by a rhino. I mean, penetrated by which part of the rhino?
Exactly.
That's. I mean,
Hey, you know what?
And honestly, if you've seen their feet, fisting might be the worst.
I always go to the scene from the second Ace Ventura movie.
Oh,
Where
when he climbs
Oh,
out
when
of
he
it.
climbs out of the back of the rhino. Oh,
Zoo
Okay,
animal.
animals are involved.
well, technically,
you-
David, any animal could be a zoo animal. So,
Trampled by an elephant.
no elephant. I think we just did elephants last week.
Yeah.
Are they reptiles, mammals, amphibians? Like which group in the animal kingdom
Mammals.
are we going with here?
Mammals.
Mammals. Okay. All right.
Huh?
Primates.
Not primates.
Okay, so it's not having your face.
Is it a
on top
water
of a
animal?
monkey.
A water mammal.
No, it happens on land.
Hmm.
These are land mammals.
Wait. Cows. How many people
Not-
were killed by cows?
Not cows.
It's more than you'd think.
I don't know if we've
A
ever done
sloth?
cows on the show before.
How about a sloth?
Not a sloth.
I heard they can get you.
They can if
So
you're.
is this
Really?
If you're
After
asleep.
napping, yeah.
so this is caused by the animal or
The
just
death of the person is
Is
caused
by-
by the animal.
by
Torn
getting
apart by wolves.
attacked by the animal?
Andrew,
Oh,
You got it.
you got it.
Fuck yeah.
It is wolves. It is wolves. All
May
right,
I may I take a moment to share that I have a dingo that lives in my house.
Are you serious?
I am absolutely serious. She
Like
she
a
is
legit
half dingo.
wild dog.
Half dingo.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. And I thought of this because, as you can tell from my hands and my upper arm, she occasionally gets a little carried away. And even though she's
Wow.
pretty calm by wild animal standards, yeah, those wild dogs will go after you occasionally.
Man.
It's great when my kid's playing in the yard. I just send her out there, and no one even fucking looks at him over the fence.
All right. So
wow.
during that 18-year period, there were 26 fatal wolf attacks worldwide. Wolves generally avoid humans. Attacks more likely to happen when the wolves have become accustomed to humans or when their natural prey is scarce. In Minnesota, where we are, wolves can only be killed in defense of human life. Although there is a way up in the northern counties, they do occasionally have lotteries hunting lotteries for wolves to thin the population. There's not one on this year, though. There hasn't been one for a few years. Only government agents are allowed to kill wolves. In France, nearly 10,000 fatal wolf attacks were documented between the year 1200 and 1920. So
they got a little different kind of wolf.
That was a little surprising. In the 50 years leading up to the year 2000, there were 8 fatal wolf attacks in Europe and Russia, 3 in North America, and more than 200 in South Asia. So I think that actually answers the question of where do they happen more often. Sounds like South Asia.
Most guys just got hosed with all their animals.
Pretty much.
Komodo dragons, cobras, fucking wolves.
Yeah.
Tigers.
Tigers
getting penetrated by an elephant, like all of these things.
The most fatal wolf attacks occurred in Turkey, with 12 attacks between the year 2002 and 2020. So stay away. Well, I've seen. Have you ever seen a wolf in the wild here in Minnesota? I have.
They're
a couple.
ginormous.
Times. They're huge. They're huge. They have they have super long legs, I've seen 2 times. I've seen them in the wild, way up by the Canadian border, and
they're big.
They've always literally just, they come around the corner and they see, because I'll be up there fishing with my buddies and they'll see us and they will dart and turn around the other way and run the hell. It's same with black bears. We've seen a bunch of black bears up there and they see a human, they're gone. They run away instantly. Which I'm glad about. I don't want the wolves or the black bears coming anywhere near me. So that was this week's Numero de los Muertos. All right, let's jump into
Spirit of Mystery.
No, let's reveal this week's Spirit of Mystery, brought to us by Postania Cigars. So I do like this bourbon.
Excuse me.
It is a little high proof, but it doesn't taste like it's super hot. It's I'm gonna say the proof is between I'm gonna say 118.
And what? You said in between.
In between 118 and 125. That's kind of a broad range. I'll narrow it down. I'll say between 118 and 122.
No.
Is it higher?
It's only 100 proof.
It's only 100 proof. Wow, this drink's hotter than 100 proof.
Single barrel.
Single barrel. As far as I don't get like, because I don't know. It just feels like there are certain bourbons that have really strong characteristics, but this one just seems kind of like a good, decent, classic bourbon. It's not like over the top, fantastically delicious, and it's not bottom shelf. It's just seems like a good classic bourbon. I'm not getting like, oh, this is definitely an Old Forester product, or oh, this is definitely a Four Roses product. It's this is tough, and I know I'm making a ton of excuses in stalling. As far as a guess, I don't know. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with.
Can we say that? Can I use that little jingle? No.
I think this. I'm gonna go with Russell's.
No.
Some kind of Russell's variety. No.
Try
Okay.
One more try.
One more try. Well, Russell's is in the wild turkey family, so I'm gonna take that out of the equation. there's some sweetness there that also makes me wonder if there's a little more wheat than average in the mash bill. Okay, so then that leads me down the Weller trail. Is it a Weller product?
No.
Okay. All right. Then
Okay.
yeah.
You ready?
You got it.
I failed this week.
Ready.
Your screen's off.
Oh,
You son of a bitch.
You even said Old Forester at one
You
point.
know that I even said Old Forester. You know that Old Forester is what? No, go back to that. I wanted to see the whole that whole label again. All right, so this is Old Forester single barrel 100 proof. Oh, a barrel pick from Total Wine. I failed. Sorry, guys. I'll get them next week. Maybe we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's a nice bourbon. I would definitely drink this again.
so you were hitting right on, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna get it. That's what Old Forest is. It's not too expensive.
Well, then I start playing tricks with my mind. I'm like, no, I can't keep saying the same brands over. I can't keep saying Old Forester because I love Old Forester. I can't keep saying Four Roses because I love Four Roses. And you just keep bringing me Four Roses and Old Forester. So it's like you're messing with my head, knowing that
2 weeks ago it was unfair. You were kind of under the weather, and I got you with the Old Forest.
you got me with my the
Big
classic
Jack
Old
Bottle,
Forester.
yeah.
Yeah, no fair. So now next week I'm gonna be like, you're gonna give me another Old Forester, but I'm gonna be like, there's no way he's gonna do Old Forester three times in a row.
No.
Yeah, right. You're messing with my head. That's not fair. All right, let's jump into the lightning round. So Andrew, these are some quick, fun, non-cigar related questions.
Sure.
If you were about to get into a fight, what would your soundtrack music be?
Oh God. Let's go with something I was listening to earlier today. Take No Prisoners, Megadeth from Rust in Peace.
Oh man, that is a first time answer, and it is a great answer.
Nice one.
I thought he was gonna say "Killing Me Softly."
If Megadeth plays it.
Yes.
Absolutely. I could see Dave Mustaine and his adenoids killing that.
There's a dude that takes, it's on Instagram, he takes you tell him what song and then you tell him what genre.
Yes.
And he mixes them up. He's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
he's
I'd have to
good.
send him that.
Yeah, he did just like last week, he did Nirvana in the style. He did Smells Like Teen Spirit in the style of Frank Sinatra, and it was hilarious.
With
all right, you
lights out.
So, what is the most overrated and underrated fast food franchise out there?
I think overrated, I gotta say In-N-Out, man. Like, everyone always gets so excited if they go out to the West Coast, and I found it very underwhelming.
That is the
Underrated?
number.
Not at McDonald's.
That's the number one answer, I think, for
Yeah, and I
overrated.
think it's accurate, man. It's true. Underrated? Ah, shit. Freddy's. Freddy's makes a pretty decent smash burger, man. They really do. They got the cheese curds. The cheese curds are good.
Yeah, that is the
My
third
dad
time
visits,
somebody's
I have
mentioned Freddy's.
Yeah. And then the ice cream's
for the
pretty
milkshake.
good too.
Yeah. It's solid, man. It's solid all around.
Yeah.
Lots of bright colors, so I can take my kid there, but I can actually, have a meal that almost resembles real food. It's good.
I like it.
All right. This next question is the big one.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
The zombies are coming.
Okay.
You get to pick 3 people from the cigar industry to be part of your zombie apocalypse survival squad. Who do you pick
Okay.
and why?
Let's see. Can these just be like, do they have to work for a specific company or just all around?
Anybody in the cigar industry that's going to take you through this zombie apocalypse and make you survive.
All right. I'm taking my man Ronnie. I'm pretty sure he could take
Bullshit.
an entire fucking tribe of those motherfuckers on his own.
He'd talk him to death.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He's wiry, man. He's wiry.
He is wiry.
I think you could take him.
Yeah.
Probably take. He doesn't work for General anymore. You guys know what I'm talking about. Rusty, weightlifter.
Oh yeah.
Macaulay, right? That's his last name, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's huge. He's the strongest rep, right?
Yeah.
So I gotta take him. And I'm taking my man Dave Payne because he's sneaky.
There you go.
He's crafty, and he's slick, and I think I could outrun him.
That's yes. Got to have somebody you can outrun.
You need that sack.
The problem with that is him and Ronnie would just sit and talk to each other, and you'd be screwed. You'd be down 2 people.
No,
We'd
because
have a good conversation, right? It'd be okay.
the zombies would be drawn to the noise from them talking, so Andrew would be safe and sound.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually those are great choices.
Yeah, this is good.
All right, let's jump into notable smokables. So, Andrew, each week, all of us name a cigar that we smoked recently that was notable to us. Now, this could be a cigar that's been on the market for decades that we smoked for the first time in a very long time, or it could be a cigar that's brand new to the market that we smoked for the first time ever. Now, obviously, you're smoking a lot of your own company's brand, but you did already mention that you like to enjoy cigars from other brands. So
100%.
what's something you smoked recently that really stood out to you?
I did try the new Winston Churchill LE.
I bought one. I haven't smoked it yet.
It was impressive. It was
Okay.
very, very good. It was very, very good. What I smoked earlier today, actually, I took my kid to school, and then because it was a pleasant day, I've got a desk out here on my porch. Like I sit out here all the time. It's covered and everything, so I just open the windows.
Yeah.
And we were talking about my man Tony earlier. I smoked that Epicure Habano. I started the day with that. God, it's good, man. It's
Yeah.
We love that cigar.
That's a killer cigar. It's excellent. Excellent. Like it's
Very
so
good.
well rounded.
Yeah, very good. Raleigh, what's your notable this week?
My notable is kind of like whenever I need to reset my palate, I know the cigar always hits the same way
Okay.
all the time, and I haven't smoked it in a while. And it's a shop exclusive. It's made by Oscar Villadores.
Yep.
And it's the Tobaccology.
Oh, yeah.
I smoke so much of them, then I don't smoke them for a while, and I forget about them, and then I smoke them, I'm like, why isn't this my everyday cigar?
Yeah.
Pretty damn good.
Nice. Justy, what's your notable this week?
Yesterday it was nice out, so I sat outside in shorts and my flip flops in 40-degree weather. It was great, and
Fucking love it.
It was sunny out. Just watching the snow melt. Had a Byron Reserva 5 Años.
Oh, baby,
That's a good one.
that's a good choice right there.
First cigar outside this spring or winter, what do you want to call it? So I made it right.
Nice. Yeah, I went heavy yesterday, and I grabbed Espinosa Alpha Dog, and that cigar that I'm fortunate I was kind of bouncing back and forth different like breweries and restaurants and stuff with my wife, and I was so full when we got home. I was like, okay, I need depth. I need richness. I was like, okay, do I want a mild dessert cigar? No, I need something spicy that's going to kick my ass. And that Espinosa Alpha Dog. And I'm pretty sure I got it from James at Burn. Probably, I don't know, 3 years ago, something like that.
Longer than
4
that.
years ago, 5, maybe, I don't know. But that cigar just like kicked my butt in the best possible way.
No.
And spicy and rich and like I don't know, just a cigar that I needed because I was like I overate. When you have one of those days where it's like you just eat and eat and eat and eat, and by the end of the day you're like, I don't want to move. Like nobody touch me, nobody talk to me. I've had way too much food today, and that cigar hit the spot. So
I miss those days.
that was my notable this week. Coming attractions. All right, guys. So next week, March 3rd, for his third appearance on How About That Cigar Live, we have none other than Chef Ed Porter back on the show. He will be here live in studio. And as we always do with Chef Ed, he's a creative genius. So we're going to be, working with pairing different foods and beverages and who knows what with some cigars while he's on the show. and cannot wait to have him back on. Then on March 10th, we have Oliver Naveau from United Cigars. And to let you guys know, the week after that, which is Monday, March 17th, that is St. Paddy's Day. That is a holiday. So we will not have an episode on that day because we want all of you wonderful people to enjoy these St. Paddy's Day festivities. So Andrew, if you would please give our viewers and listeners an idea, where is the best place for them to keep up with everything going on with Lampert Cigars?
Obviously on our website, lampertcigars.com, on our Instagram, which is Lampert Cigars. My personal Instagram is a mouthful. It is Tabacalera Guerra de Rocas, the War of the Rocks, because it's a play on my last name, and I thought it was clever. And obviously we're on Facebook under Lampert Cigars as well. We also, City of Palms Distribution is always talking about what we're doing new as well. That's our distribution partner. So any of those, you can find out what's going on. We update our website consistently. Anything new that's happening, we will usually post about it. Anything that's going on will be on our Instagram as well. And if there's something big, I'm sure to be talking about it too. You can also reach out to me with questions. Like I'm always good. I like chatting with people. I like to think I'm an affable individual, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys have hated having me here, and that's okay. Some people do. A lot of bars were like, no, you can't come here anymore, and I didn't know why. But yeah. So feel free to reach out with any questions you've got for me too.
Well, I got a quick one for you. Who in Minnesota? What shops in Minnesota are you
Minnesota?
We are not in Minnesota. I have talked to the guys at Tobacco Grove. I would love to be in there because that is a stellar store.
Yeah.
We have not had representation in Minnesota. And it is a bit of a drive for me. But that is, funnily enough, I have a list of 4 states that have been underrepresented. And you guys are on that list, along with Colorado and a couple of other states. So,
well, if you put it on your schedule this summer to visit shops in the Twin Cities area, just let us know you're on your way, and we would be more than happy to take you on a tour around the Twin Cities area, introduce you to some shop owners, and show you some some of the cool food and other good stuff around this area.
I've had some great times in Minneapolis. Actually, it is a city I enjoy. I went up the year you guys opened the new stadium. My Giants played there. It was a trip, and in a very weird circumstance, I bumped into your former senator Al Franken while I was there and chatted with him. Yep.
Nice.
And I think I scared the shit out of him because it was a restaurant and he was like sitting there getting like takeout or something. And I'm like, Mr. Frank, like, how are you? SNL and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he said, blah, blah, blah. How are you enjoying visiting Minneapolis? I said, man, it looks like a giant fucking spaceship landed over there, at the stadium. And he looked at me like, who the fuck is this? Why are you talking about spaceships? I'm like, no, it looks like a spaceship. It's really cool. You guys sure know how to spend $1 billion.
Yeah.
Slowly backing away. There's another list I'm on.
You mentioned something. How about your Giants? What are they going to do?
Oh, unbridled optimism. Optimism. Every year.
From New York originally?
I lived there. I'm not actually from this country. I grew up in New York. And then moved here, and then lived over on the East Coast before I moved to the Midwest, and that was for work, weirdly. And so I love my Giants, and it's been fun. Of course, we did manage to beat your Vikings in the playoffs.
Whoa!
What I can only describe.
None of us are Vikings fans.
Listen,
interesting. Okay, go on.
Listen, let's have a little wager because they play every year. Your terrible Giants and my terrible Jets.
Yeah, he's a Jets fan.
God. God. The fucking STD bowl, man. Jesus. It's like which like, oh God. I think the wager is who reaches for the remote first.
We got to do a 5-pack, brother.
I think we do.
And he's a cheesehead, so
yeah, I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, so.
I was at the NFC Championship game, the second coldest game. I was dating a girl who lived in Milwaukee, and her folks lived up in Brown County, and they had season tickets. And, they had two, and her dad was going, obviously, and her mom said, no, it's too cold. I'm not fucking going. And he said, I was in Milwaukee at the time, and he's like, how quickly can you get here? I'm like, I'm getting in the car now.
Yeah.
I was woefully unprepared. I had like 2 hoodies on.
Oh.
He's like, you're going to need another coat. I'm like, no, I'll be all right. It's cold, but it ain't that cold. He's like,
yeah, it is.
No, you're going to be sitting there, the wind blowing through. Oh, it was brutal. It was brutal. But the result was good. So it was a hell of a day. Hell of a day.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Justy doesn't know what football is, so
No, I mean it's soccer, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, he thinks it's soccer.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Football.
Exactly. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to do at quarterback, man. I have a feeling week 1, if I were a betting man, that's my son does the betting in our house, not me. He's up like $3,000.
I hear Aaron Rodgers.
I'm actually not kidding. I have a feeling we're going to be rolling week 1 with Jameis Winston. I have a feeling.
Oh.
And you know what? Like after he beat the Steelers, obviously we all saw that interview with him. Like, protect that man at all costs. Put the best offensive line you possibly can in front of him. He's a fucking national treasure.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He is.
And then I think there's a park down the street from me by the Mississippi River that's got better turf than the Meadowlands. So, like, I don't know. I mean, just it's who can get hurt next, right?
Yeah, you basically they're playing on a slab of concrete with some green dust thrown on it.
Exactly. It's spray paint. It's just spray paint. That's all it is.
Well, Andrew, brother, thank you so much for spending the evening with us. We
Absolutely.
appreciate it so much.
I had a great time, and I'm pretty proud I got the Wolf one.
There you go. There you go. All right, viewers and listeners, guys, thank you so much for being our guests again, listening and watching. How about that Cigar Live? This episode 280.
I think that we should talk about David Floyd's comment really quick.
Which one?
I really appreciate that.
Some of us, so David Floyd says, some of us HBTC Mondays are holidays and we celebrate every week. That's a
thank you, brother.
Brother, we thank you. That means a lot to us. Yeah. Every night that HBTC broadcasts is a holiday and means for celebration. That's absolutely. Right. And we appreciate that. We appreciate all of you guys for watching and listening on Facebook, YouTube, and
Rumble.
And no matter where you listen to your favorite audio podcast, thank you so much for making How About That Cigar a part of it. Click on all of the big, beautiful buttons like we said already. It means a lot to us. And that way you won't miss anything cool that we have coming up on How About That Cigar Live. If you have questions for any of us, you can email us on the website, howaboutthatcigar.com. Be sure to follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. On all of those, you will find us at HBT Cigar. And of course, until we see you guys next time, burn cigars,
not bridges.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Any comments, opinions, viewpoints, or statements presented or uttered by guests on the HBTC podcast, HBTC live video streams, and all other media from HBT Media LLC are solely those of the individual and do not necessarily represent the opinions or viewpoints of How About That Cigar or its parent company, HBT Media LLC, any of our advertising partners, or the premium cigar industry. The primary purpose of How About That Cigar is to entertain and to encourage activity and growth within the community of people who enjoy or want to learn about the enjoyment of premium cigars.